Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dark Helmet Cat 67, bringing you with another episode of LEGO Worlds, and we're in our brick town. So I want to go over some few basic stuff with you guys. You know, how each tool is used and what I added off camera. So first, let's go over all the tools. So first off is we have the free build, which is what we're going to be using more frequently. The landscape tool, the copy tool, the build tool, the paint tool, and the discovery tool. So here's what free build looks like. This is the free build tool, and as you can see, we have access to every tool, which is kind of efficient. That way you don't have to keep swapping tools. That way you don't have to keep opening the game circle or whatever and select the tool. You can just press and hold Y, and that allows you to scroll through and change the tool. Like, I want to change from build tool to discovery tool without ever opening up the game wheel. So that's what free build is for. And then you just let go of Y to select the tool. As you can see, now I have the discovery tool set up. Oh, we got a troublemaker. Get over here, troublemaker. Gotcha. It's kind of cool how he gets mad and then just goes away. That's the troublemaker. Alright, so now let's go over each individual tool. So first off we have is the landscape tool. And what we have selected is add and remove. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool. It's kind of cool when you're like making like buildings or like steps or stairs or even, you know what I mean. But sometimes it makes the building frame too thick, and it probably won't sometimes fit in a copy box. So, here's what add and remove is. As you can see, the shape, it's a cube right now, and if you press the controls are different. If you're on PC, the controls are different. This is the Xbox One. So if you press the two squares, it allows you to change the shape. Like, it's now a wedge 90. You got all sorts of different shapes. Let's go back to cube. And when the thing is green, it means you'll be adding bricks. Like, so if I press A is for add. I just added those bricks. Kind of cool to press A to add the bricks, because the word add begins with A. And if you press and hold A, you can drag it across. Yeah, in any direction. And when the frame is red, right now, when it's red, you will be removing bricks. You know, like erase the bricks. Pressing X to do that. And like I said earlier, the controls for the PC are different. So if you're playing on the PC version, the controls are different. And if you press and hold X, you can remove the bricks in a line. Like here. Well, let's spin the sky. Sky spinner. Let's make it daytime. Alright. So that was the add and remove tool. And you can also change the size. Like that. Next we have is raise and lower. Which means we have different shapes. We have peak, plateau, dome, cylinder, pyramid, square, and cone. So let's use peak for this demonstration. So, like I said, just like with the add and remove tool, when the thing is green, you will be adding stuff. But in this particular case, when it's green, you will be raising the terrain to that shape. Just like that. And if you press the left joystick, you can undo it. And then press the right joystick to redo it. And now, when the thing is red, just like with the add and remove tool, you will be removing bricks. But except now, we will be lowering. We will be digging up the terrain. Just like that. And with the raise and lower tool, you can create mountains, valleys, and all sorts of things. Oh. Alright. So that was the raise and lower. Next we have is flatten. And we have two different shapes. We have square and circle. And with this, you can flatten the terrain. You know, make a perfect playing field for building buildings and flatten an entire piece of land to build a town, just like the one I have here. You can also use the flatten tool to flatten out buildings. But I don't want to do it on a building because my town looks perfect. But I'll use this tree as a demonstration. Yeah. Like that. See what I just did? It just flattened the tree. As you can see, there's still some parts. But we're gonna undo that. keep that tree. And it's the same thing with the circle. Yeah, so that was flattened. Next we have is smooth. So what this means is, let's go to the edge. Let's go towards the edge of something. That way I can show you the smooth tool. It's perfect for smoothing out terrains, like to get rid of sharp corners. And it smooths out the terrain. And then the last thing is replace, which means you can select a material to replace. Like right now I have pick material to replace. I'll use the plains grass. And I'll replace it with stone. And if I press and hold A, what that's gonna do, it's gonna replace only the plains grass areas, nothing else. I was just doing that as a demonstration. Okay, so that was the landscape tool. Next we have is the copy tool. What the copy tool allows you to do is to copy props or pieces of scenery and duplicate them. That way you can make an exact copy of the piece. And you can also highlight buildings and you can also highlight buildings that you made. And you gotta be careful sometimes, because if you make a building that's way too big, the copy box won't allow you to go any further, like all the way to the end. Like this is how far as it can go. Like I'm using this on this department store. And same thing with going up. Hopefully it can reach the top. Yeah, it reaches the top. Perfect. Sometimes you may have to break these down. Sometimes you may have to save them as pieces or different sections of a building. Because the thing is too big, and the copy box won't go any further than what it yields. So, and of course there's two ways of doing it. You can either press A to save, like to save it as a model to be used for later, or you can hit X to make a temporary copy. But like I said earlier, sometimes if you make a building that's too big and doesn't fit in one copy box, sometimes you may have to break it down. You may have to break it down into sections. But sometimes that can be tricky because you may forget where the edge of the copy box stops, and that way you can pick it up from there. It's like it's like putting together a puzzle. So if I hit A, it allows me to save this. It allows you to verify it, you know, like add bricks or remove them, or keep it the way it is. And of course you can give your model a name. But I'm not gonna do this. We don't want this to be just a... We're not gonna save this. It's just a small piece of wall. Oh, hey, Night Trader. Do you have any gold bricks for me? No? You know, some things do look really cool at nighttime. Like those lights. Like sometimes the lights, they sometimes brighten up. They can sometimes light up the night. And it can, and it can make the place really, and it can make the place light up. But we want it to be daytime because alright, so that was the copy tool. Next we have is the build tool. Yes, with the build tool, it gives you access to all of the Lego bricks. Yes. You know, you can like build buildings from scratch the old-fashioned way. And if you press Y, it brings you up this menu. And as you can see in our menu, we have bricks, plates, tiles, slopes, fixtures and fittings, as you can see we have a lot of windows and doors. Planner tool. This is the planner tool, which that means like it gives you already walls and openings pre-made. And then last is colors, in which you can like select the color you want, and it will change all of the bricks and parts to that color. And red is selected, which I think red is selected by default. Bright red, fire engine red, that's always selected by default. And you can change the color anytime. You can also like create windows and other things because of those transparent colors. So if I select like dark stone gray, it will change the brick I have selected to that color. Tapping A once will place down one brick, but if you press and hold A, and then move the left joystick to the right or left, you can drag it across and place down a bunch of them, just like that. So that takes care of the build tool. Next we have is the paint tool. The paint tool allows us to change the color of any bricks that are in our worlds or ground. gonna select the color, and you can either paint it, and there's so many things that you can paint the ground in, or bricks, like the neon colors, or snowy grass, rusty dirt, boom rock, snow, sand, brick. You can even paint it lava or slime. It's pretty cool. I'll select. Yo, let's do lava. Oh, and of course, one more thing. We have the colors and materials and brushes. And we have 4 different brushes. 2 of them are the same shape. We have hard brush and soft brush. And then we have square and circle. So if we do a hard brush, you can drag it across, and if you pressing and holding A will paint the ground in that color. But let's get rid of that lava, because we do not want any lava. We do not want lava in our town, in our brick town. We do not want our LEGO citizens to be getting hurt. Let's do a different color. Let's use ice. And this is what a soft brush looks like. It creates this smudgy effect on the edges. You can even oh man. So that's the difference between the hard brush and the soft brush. Hard brushes do not leave smudgy areas on the edge. And soft brushes do. So let's go ahead and undo that. That's the paint tool taken care of. Last but not least, the discovery tool. The powerful discovery tool, of which it allows us to scan and collect props. And once we have them, we can place them in our worlds. You can point the discovery tool at the revolving door for this instance, or that gentleman mannequin. If it's a prop, it will be highlighted. Let's go into first person. As you can see in this particular case, I have it discovered already because it's highlighted in blue. But for a prop that has not yet been discovered, a prop that has not yet been discovered yet will be in green. And you can tell the difference of whether if you discovered it or not. The way you can tell that you have not yet discovered a prop is if the thing is flashing or blinking. That's how you can tell. And you can discover all sorts of different things, like objects, characters, creatures, animals, vehicles, and even brick buildings. As you can see, we have we have a ton. As you can see, I have a ton of brick builds. Which is kind of cool because they're all necessary. Like, for me to, like, put in the town. And as you can see, we have a lot of props. You can use these props in many ways. In different ways. Like, you can use them to decorate your buildings, you can even decorate the road. You can light up your world. Yeah. And, like, use them as lamps. Yeah. Like putting down benches, signs, fences. Well, the picket fence, because that's the only prop. There is a type of fence in the build tool which you can build. But when somebody like drives haywire, and if you place down a prop, and if somebody drives into it, they will destroy it. So sometimes you may have to build the props using the bricks. Even though they may not be functional, but using bricks to build props, and if you run into them or somebody else, they will not get destroyed. As you can see, I have a lot of props. And over here, some of these props are hard to find. And as you can see, I still have quite a bit of props that I have not yet discovered. I've been trying to find these all over. Some of these are hard to find. Come on, let's spin the sky. Let's spin the sky. I'm probably gonna give my construction worker a name. And I think I'll name him Mike. Mike the Construction Builder. Yes. Alright, Mike. Let's pull out that discovery tool and let's show the viewers of how it works. So for any props that you have unlocked, all you have to do is you can select one. Let's use let's use a tree. Let's use the red apple tree for this demonstration. And if you select it, it pops up. And you can place it down anywhere. And press A to place it down. Just like I said earlier, if you're playing on PC, the controls are different. So sometimes you have to... What might help you figure out which button does which is you notice that eye on the bottom right corner of the screen? That's the info button. And if you press the left D, it brings you up this information of what each button does, which is kind of useful. So let's pull out that discovery tool. So we got this apple tree placed down. And as you can see, it's highlighted because let's go into Mike's point of view. As you can see, the apple tree is highlighted because I'm pointing the discovery tool at it. Notice the trajectory, the blue laser thing. And you can remove it any time. Or you can make a copy of it. So, see what I did? You can press and hold the X button to copy a prop. And then you can like place down another one. And you can like place down a lot of these. Like, somebody want to go apple picking? Should we put an apple picking farm? We're not gonna do that. Or you can just press X once to remove it. I'm gonna remove all of these. Alright. Now, as I was saying earlier about some props that you have not yet unlocked. As you can see, I still have quite a bit of props that I have not yet unlocked. I've been trying to find these props, and sometimes they're hard to find. Sometimes you have to go into, like, some of them can be found in the western biomes, snowy worlds, candy worlds, but if you go into sandbox mode, you have everything unlocked from the start. Yeah, so yeah. And what you could do this as a cheat. If you go in, you can like go into a sandbox world, and you would have every prop unlocked from the start. At the start. Yeah. You have access to everything. So what you could do is you can like place down a prop in your sandbox world, use your copy tool, and save it as a model, and then bring it back into an adventure world. But the only thing is, it won't let you discover it. So let's say, let's use this one, because I have not yet unlocked this one. So let's say if I place down this prop, because it's not unlocked in an adventure world, and if I place this down in the sandbox world, save it as a model, and then bring it back into an adventure world, and place it down, and if I try to point the discovery tool at it, it won't let me discover it, because that would be cheating. So that's that. So yeah, that covers all of the tools. And of course we have our inventory. Like our everything. Camera, lantern, sky spinner, grapple gun, block gun, and jetpack. And all the other inventories. Like guitar, bagpipes, torches, hammers, roller skates, pom-poms, swords, guns, all sorts of things. Alright. And, I think that's gonna have to wrap up this episode. So, the next episode, what we'll do is, I'll show you some of the stuff that, that Mike and I worked on off camera. Like I got an amusement park all set up, which is pretty nice. You'll get to see that. But hold on. Before I go, before we call it, before we end this video, that's what I should say, let's get rid of these bricks that are floating. They're part of the tree. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for them to just be floating in the air. There we go. As you can see, I added these trees that kind of like, just for a piece of scenery, so that it separates the main part of the town with from the neighborhood. And right over here that I added is I think that's is that Pugsy Treehouse? Let me see if that's Pugsy Treehouse. I think it is. Is it Pugsy Treehouse? It kind of looks like it, yeah. It is Pugsy Treehouse. Yeah. That way I can put Pugsy on there. If you unlocked Pugsy as a vehicle. And the way you can do that, I think I mentioned this in my last video, is that by collecting 200 gold bricks to unlock Pugsy as a vehicle to drive around your world. Yeah. But other than that, that's going to have to wrap up this episode. So, like I mentioned earlier, the next episode we're going to do is go over what Mike and I worked on off camera. And, I'll see you guys then. See you then. Bye.